Hi everyone, today I would like to talk about how to learn a language. I am very curious about this question, but first of all, I must say that I am poor at English. Why I take this video in English is that I just want to practice and record my current English. So let's start. Firstly, let's think about what is learning English, learning a language. In my opinion, learning a language is just like learning how to drive. That means learning how to drive is a kind of learn some time and learn some patterns, then you can master it. I think that it is the same thing to learn a language. For example, if a Chinese learn Japanese, it needs 1,000 hours. And if a Chinese or Japanese learn English, it needs about 2,000 hours. I think if you put enough time into learning a language, then you can master it. That is the thing. So if learning a language is just a skill, then I think the question can change to how can we start and how can we consistently learning a language. So first, let's talk about how can we start. I think when we start learning a language, it is just we should master the basic grammar and basic vocabulary for the specific language. At this time, when I first learned Japanese, that was my after my high school and I graduated from high school. I want to learn Japanese, and I buy some book, which is called 900 sentence that I usually use in daily basis. But that book is not very good. So when you learn some specific language, you just go to the bookshop and buy some typical textbook in the specific language. So I think it is the best way to use the general textbook for that specific language. Uh, and uh, uh, and if we start learning a language, the next thing is how can we consistently learn it. So in my opinion, there is two situations. One situation is that your motivation to learn the language is very high. This situation is like I learned Japanese. When I learned Japanese, that was my college. In that time, I have plenty of time, so I and learning Japanese is really makes me happy. So it is really my motivation to learn Japanese is very high. So there is no problem for me to learn it consistently. But if you but if you do not have enough motivation to learn the language, for example, I learned English. I didn't have enough motivation to learn it because everybody will learn English in the school, and we do not choose to learn it. So almost most of the people do not like to learn English. Me too. So in this case, you need to create a habit to learn it. Recently, I have read a great book called Atomic Habit. I think this is how this book teaches you how to create a good habit. We can talk about in another video. Next question is there a easy way to learn a language? I think there is an easy way to learn a language. When we learn language, there typically will have four categories. That is reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And it can divide it into two groups. One is input and one is output. Basically, the output needs more effort to do it, so you just need to focus on the input, which means reading and listening. And they also have a benefit to focus to the input, because if you focus on the input, you will touch a lot of materials, and in the material you can find something that you are interested. That is, I think, the best way is to learn a language is you are interested in it. So, for example, when I learn Japanese, I am very interested in Japanese animation, and it is very fun for me to learn Japanese. But in the opposite, I cannot find something like Japanese animation when I learn English. So learn English is very difficult for me. Yeah. So let's summary that if you want to learn a language, you must know it is just a skill. If you put enough time, you can learn it. But you need to know how to start and how to continuously to learn it. And then the best way to learn a language is focus on the input, reading, and listening. And after that, you need to find your interest in the language. Then you can really master the language. Okay, that's today's contents. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.